Shabbat Shalom. It's the second night of Hanukkah, and it's also Shabbat. So let's sing together. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. It's good to be together again, and we're coming to the very darkest time of the year when the days are the shortest. It certainly seems like that to me. I wake up in the morning and just a few hours later the sun is setting. But you know what that means? That means when we reach the shortest day of the year, and it's coming up in about a week and a half, that then the days start getting longer. But at this time of year, when there's most darkness, that's when we appreciate light. The lights from Hanukkah and the lights from our Shabbat candles that remind us that light is there and light is returning. And we can see the light most clearly in the times of the year when it's most dark. So let's light the candles. Taking as much light as we can to sustain us. I'm going to move this so you can see the light a little better. There. Okay. Taking the light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chad likner shel Shabbat. There they are, those Shabbat lights. Did you know Shabbat is the most important holiday? More than Hanukkah, more even than Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, because we do it every week. It's the most important one. It's the one where the deep well of blessing, of rest, of appreciation and gratitude comes to us. And we need to do it every week because we need it every week. Okay, well, I'm glad we can do it together. You and me, all right? We're doing it together. Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu. Those angels are surrounding us. The angels are surrounding us, and even when it's dark a lot, we still have the meeting together with the bride. There's still that joyous time when we meet the bride of Shabbat. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el cham yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem tiferet v'li tchila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Come, my beloved, to greet the bride. We'll go together and welcome her inside. We'll welcome her inside. The righteous shall flourish like palm trees, grow tall like cedars in Lebanon, rooted in the courtyards of our God. Flesh and freshy they will ever be. Fleshy and fresh they will ever be, bearing their fruits even in old age. Let's sing our song for those righteous people who are tall in our minds and in our hearts like cedars of Lebanon. Tzadikatam achar yifrach, ke'erez b'Lebanon yizkei, shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenuvon b'seva, deshenim ra'ananim yiyu, lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo havlatabo. Well, one of the best things that happens at this time of year when it gets dark so early is that we begin reading the story of Joseph. And I have to tell you, this is my favorite all-time story. My favorite of all time. So that's the bright side. That's a light at this time of year when we begin to read the story of Joseph. So it starts out a little bit sad. There's Jacob, who we've been talking about for a few weeks. And now he has 12 sons and one daughter, Dinah. And he has these 12 sons. And the youngest two are Jacob and Benjamin. And Jacob is, let's start over. Jacob has 12 sons, and the youngest two are Joseph and Benjamin. And Joseph is Jacob's favorite. He is the favorite of his father. Because their mother, Joseph and Benjamin's mother, was Jacob's favorite wife, Rachel. So, as you can imagine, if you were one of the other brothers, you're always trying to get your father's attention and wishing that he loved you as much as he loved Joseph. But Joseph, he was very confident because his father favored him. And we know this because his father made him a beautiful, remember the coat of many colors? He had a coat of many colors, and when he wore that, it was sort of like saying to all the brothers, "Woo, notice this, I'm my dad's favorite." And in addition to that, Joseph had a special gift of dreaming. He had very vivid, powerful dreams, and he could interpret them. He knew the special sense being sent to him through his dreams from the Holy One. And he would brag about his dreams to his brothers, and a couple of them were not so, the brothers weren't so excited about them, because in one of them, Jacob says, we were all binding sheaves of grain in the field, tying them into bundles. And all of a sudden, my bundle stood up, and 11 other bundles came and bowed down to my bundle. Well, the brothers, they knew that 11 plus 1, that's 12. That's how many brothers there are. They figured out that Joseph was saying, y'all are going to come bow down to me at some point. And they just hated him. They just couldn't stand him. And so one day, his father, Joseph's father, Jacob, says to him, come here. And Joseph comes, and he says a very important word. He says the word hineni. That's a very special word in the Bible. That means, here I am, God. I'm ready for whatever you have in store for me. I'm ready. I'm going to go do it. So Joseph says, hineni, and his father Jacob says, I want you to go off to where your brothers are pasturing the sheep. And I want you to let me know how things are going. You come back and tell me. Well, Jacob goes, and I'll just tell you right now, he doesn't come back for 20 years. In the meantime, his brothers see him, and they see him from a distance, and they say, behold, the dreamer cometh, that dreamer. And they take him and tear off his coat and throw him into a pit. And they're ready to kill him. But one of the brothers says, look, let's not let the blood of our brother be on our hands. Let's just, we'll sell him into slavery in Egypt. We'll get rid of him that way. And indeed they do. They do, and they take back his bloody coat to their father. and say, oh, we don't know what happened to Joseph. Some animal must have attacked him. And of course, Jacob is bereft. It's the worst thing to lose your child. It's the worst. And Jacob is inconsolable. But meanwhile, Joseph, he's a really good slave. Okay, his boss thinks he is just wonderful and leaves him alone in possession of everything he has. And he leaves home, and Joseph's boss's wife falls in love with Joseph. Not a good thing, not a good thing. And Joseph is innocent, but the wife accuses him, and he gets put in jail. But he's a handsome man, he's capable, he's reliable, and he gets promoted to be the top prisoner in jail. And he interprets his fellow prisoners' dreams. And he's right. The interpretations come true. And one of the prisoners is released. And Joseph says to him, remember me to the Pharaoh. Because the prisoner is going to go be the Pharaoh's cupbearer. He says, remember me. And the last thing we hear in the whole Torah portion is that the prisoner that was released, who was supposed to remember Joseph to the Pharaoh, says he forgot. He forgot. That's where our portion ends up. Now let me tell you, these Torah portions, they're the original series. They're the original, like, TV series where you get a new one each week. That's where this one ends up. So you got to come back next week to hear what happens next, because it's amazing. The story of Joseph is amazing. Okay? So this week, he's in a dungeon and forgotten. That's where we are this week. But you come back and see what happens, okay? All right. Let's sing our song for peace. Oh, say shalom bimromav, oh ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Let's sing a song of healing. So bring to mind people who could need a little support right now. In any way they could use some support, some love, some knowing that people care about them. Brings a lot of comfort to people when they know this. So you can say their names, or at least imagine their faces. Do the best you can. And let's sing our song for them. Mishe berach avotenu, mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Sheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBraha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We also like to remember people who've been blessings in our lives and who are no longer with us, who have died. And if you would like to remember them, we'll say their names. And we'll say Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayei of yomei chon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ul'almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yama v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. So take up our juice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim, l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. So I wish you a really wonderful Shabbat of peace, and I wish you a light-filled Hanukkah, that you take delight in seeing the lights lit, and know that together we're going to get through this darkness and the light will come again. And I'll see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.